So it turns out young children and aging adults living with dementia are perfect learning partners. They're able to do this because they meet each other right where they are without any expectation or planned agendas. This is cause for a beautiful relationship. And I know that these relationships exist because I've been facilitating them around the Denver area for the past year and a half. So I work with existing Montessori schools and adults living with memory loss in aging adult centers around the Denver area and facilitate relationships. For the children, this is super easy. They are always down for a new adventure. They love to meet new people. They love to show off things they're learning in their classroom. They love to have conversations. And once we've done some pre-learning around what dementia is, the children are ready to go. It's sometimes a little bit harder sell for people that work in the assisted living. They're not always quite so sure that having a bunch of little children hanging out for an hour or so with their memory care folks is such a great idea. But again, once we do some pre-learning on what Montessori for aging and dementia looks like, and they understand that the children will be there to work side by side with the adults as their learning partners, they're usually on board and the visits are allowed to happen. So at the last visit that I facilitated, we were having a great time. The children had been there 7 or 8 times, so relationships had already been established. And there's a constant buzz of conversation and joy in the classroom. But at the end of an hour, the children have to line up to go back to their schools. So the children were lined up to leave, and Janet, one of the assisted living folks, called me over and she said, "I'm melting." And I said, "Oh my gosh, Janet, are you ill? Do I need to call? I don't understand." And she said, "No, my heart is melting." And she pointed at the children. And I said, "Yeah, they're pretty cool, aren't they? We have a really good time while they're here. It's too bad they have to go." And she and I and everyone else watched them leave. And with that, the energy and the joy and the excitement just was sucked out of the room with the children. So the adults in the environment started to just meander back to their rooms, and I was cleaning up the mess that we made. And one of the caregivers came over to me and said, "You know, I just love it when the children come. It is so fun and there's so much joy in the room. And I don't really have a lot of joy in my job. I just hate to see it end." And I said, "Well, what if it didn't have to end? What if this was the children's preschool and they came here every single day and the relationships that you saw today got to build and grow?" And she actually sort of looked sad and she said, "You know, I can't let myself imagine that because it's just too big. It has the potential to change everything." So that's the mission of Montessori intergenerational learning communities, to change everything by creating communities where young children attend Montessori preschool and aging adults attend Montessori day services under the same roof with individual and shared programming day in and day out. So Milk just became a nonprofit, and we're looking for investors and cheerleaders and funders and volunteers and anybody who's excited about bringing this idea to fruition, either in the Denver area or anywhere around the country. So I hope you're inspired and you'll join us. Thanks for having me.